So apparently there's a little bit of a discussion happening right now online in the nail community, DIY nail community, around OPI releasing gel product to the general public. And honestly, the commentary around this, not from like the professionals that are complaining about it, but like when I read the comment section, it's just like, it's very frustrating as a professional. And I just want to weigh in on a few things that like honestly don't even really have that much to do with like OPI. Like I don't really care if they sell to the general public. There's so many brands now, like there's so much high quality products that are available to the general consumer that I feel like that particular piece doesn't affect me that much. There's a lot of products I use as a professional that anyone can buy. Apres, Function of Vex, Daily Charm, Vetsy, like there's a lot of products that are like really top-notch quality that are available to everybody. There's a lot of professional nail techs that feel differently and they're voicing that, and that's okay. You guys can feel however you feel. But what's bothering me is the comment section. And there's a few points that I just want to make, and this is probably going to get long and nobody's going to watch it, so I don't know if this matters, but I'm going to say what I have to say. Firstly, just because products are available to the general public doesn't mean that I, as a professional, am going to be out of a job. Because just because they're available to everyone does not mean that everyone can or should be doing their nails. I feel like we learned this with COVID. Everyone went out and bought their little gel kits on Amazon and learned real quickly that it is not as easy as it looks. And now they're back in my chair. You had me scared there for a second, but here we are. It's taken me 14 years to get to the skill level of nail service that I provide, and most people are not going to want to invest in that, and they're going to learn really quickly that this is actually hard. And if you want nails that look nice and that last a long time, that requires some skill, and some of the DIY girlies have that skill, but I'd say a lot of people don't. And the second point I want to make is that a lot of people should not be doing their own nails. Like, there's a reason that we have to get licensed to provide this service, because this is like chemistry. These are chemicals that you are putting on your body. And if you don't actually know how to use those chemicals, like, you could really fuck your shit up for life. We are seeing a rise in allergies to these products, and it's not necessarily because there's something wrong with the products. It's because people are using them without the proper education on them. So whenever I hear that someone is doing their nails at home, like I'm not so much bothered by like if you know how to do it, if you are doing it right, then like go for it. I'm very much like a DIY beauty girly, and if I can figure out how to do it myself, I'm gonna do it myself. And so that's fine. What I really start thinking about is, do you know what you're doing though? Because if you don't, you are risking having a gel allergy for the rest of your life. You will never be able to get your nails done. You are risking chemical burns that are going to cause you so much pain. And it literally looks like you have like a flesh-eating virus on your hands. And it takes a long time to get healed up from that. We saw this when people started applying their press-ons with gel, not realizing that that press-on needs to be clear or the light cannot penetrate through it. And now you've got uncured gel in between your press-on and your nail, and it's just sitting there, and now you have a chemical burn or a contact dermatitis. So it is a little bit frustrating that these things are being marketed as something that anybody can just pick up and do, because one, it like discredits nail techs like expertise and knowledge and education and all the things that we had to do this. Okay, I got interrupted because my client showed up and I had to move locations because I just can't like film myself talking in the house if somebody else is there. But anyways, what I was saying is that it kind of downplays the seriousness of the fact that you are using chemicals and you are doing something on your body, because not only is it like the chemical burns and the contact dermatitis and stuff, there's also like a lot of sanitation that goes into providing a nail service. Even if you're just working on yourself, if your tools are not properly cleaned, it is very possible that you're going to give yourself like an infection or something. Or if you're not applying everything properly and you end up with a lot of lifting, then moisture can get in there, and there's a lot to it, and there's a lot that can go wrong if you aren't doing it right. So there's a lot of like educating yourself that you have to do it right. And I don't think that a lot of people are doing it. I think that there's a lot of people that just go on a whim and they buy it and then they try it, and maybe it goes fine for you, but there's just a lot of room for error. And so that is what starts to make me worry about people doing their own nails. And with the marketing around these things and companies releasing these, you can hear my neighbor's dog, companies releasing like products like this and making it seem like it's just something that's easy and anybody can do it. Now, the last thing I want to talk about, and I don't even know if I should talk about this, honestly, but in one of the videos that I saw that was talking about hair, that was talking about this topic, I like was reading through the comment section and oh my fucking God, like the majority of the comments were people complaining about how nail techs have gotten too big for their britches these last few years. Like, if they didn't want us doing our nails at home, then maybe they shouldn't have been greedy. It's just a whole lot of commentary around nail prices and nail techs being greedy. And I personally feel like this conversation is so tired. Like, maybe I shouldn't even be chiming in on it and like continuing it at all, but it's really triggering for me. And there's two aspects of this that I kind of want to comment on. So one of them is that most of the time, you guys, nail techs are not greedy. In fact, I think what's happening is that a lot of nail techs are finally starting to charge their worth, because for the longest time, nail techs have been the most underpaid practitioner in the beauty industry, period. There is so much that goes into providing nail services that I don't think people actually know or understand, and we deserve to be paid. It drives me absolutely insane that people expect nail techs to work for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever, on your nails, and then they want to pay you $25. Like, do you get paid when you go to work? Because I'm at work and I'm providing a service to you, and I think I deserve to be paid for that. And I think a lot of times people, like, they just look at maybe like the amount of time that they sat in the chair and then what they paid, and they kind of do that math in their head, and they're like, oh, she's making $50 an hour, she's making $100 an hour, whatever. They like think that we get to keep all that money. And I can tell you right now that we are not making as much money as you think we are. A lot of us, station rent alone is like $1,000+ just to provide the space for you to come and have this service done. That is not including products, insurance, licensing, transaction fees, website fees, taxes. I know I'm forgetting stuff. It's a lot. Like, I'm just here to tell you, it's a lot. So I am taking home a fraction of what you have actually paid me. And here I am from the future as I'm editing this video, because I feel like I need to chime in with one last point that I did not include in this video. And that is, even if we are taking home a good amount of money, what is wrong with that? Why are nail techs like not allowed to eat? Why is that a thing? This is a skill that takes a lot of effort to master. And it's a luxury service. People talk about nails like it's groceries. You do not need nails to survive. And there are options. You don't need to get completely blinged out nails if you can't afford it. A lot of us are providing a luxury service, and that deserves a luxury price tag. Especially for those of us that have been doing this for a really long time. Why should I make minimum wage after I've been doing this for 14 years? Any other industry, if you've been working in it for 14 years, you are getting a raise incrementally over that time period. I should not be making the same amount of money that someone who just got out of beauty school is making, or that I was making when I first got out of beauty school. I should be making an amount of money that reflects the fact that I have put 14 years of blood, sweat, and tears into a skill. And this is not only a luxury, but it's like an art form. The nails that people want these days, they're not the same. They're not the same nails that we were seeing 10 years ago. We're not just talking French tip, pink and whites, like solid color. We're not doing that shit anymore. You guys want the chrome and the gems and the fun designs and the 3D shit. That shit is hard. It took me a year alone to master chrome. I don't know, I just feel like I shouldn't be sitting here justifying how much money I'm not making. Like, that should make it okay that you're paying what you're paying for your nails. But the reality of the situation is that even if I was taking all that money home, why is that such a problem? I'm an artist and I'm providing a luxury service on your body. Like, people that undervalue services that require another person to touch you and care for you. It really irks me in a special kind of way. Like, why does it seem like when you look at the comment section for like anything, any video that talks about nails, why does it seem like people just like the only acceptable wage for a nail tech is like minimum wage? Why are we not allowed to make good money? Especially after putting years and years of dedication into this. But yeah, back to what I was saying. And just like for everyone, everything is getting more expensive. It is harder and harder to be an independent business owner providing a service at a reasonable price because of not only how expensive it is to run the business and provide the service, but then how expensive it is to provide myself with a living wage for like my life, like my home and my family. I'm going to prop you up right here because my hand hurts. Which also, by the way, how hard this is on our bodies. Like, let's not downplay that. Like, my hands hurt, my back hurts, my neck hurts, my eyes are blurry. Like, I'm working, guys. I deserve to be paid. So yeah, I could talk about that for a very long time. But I also want to I probably should make like a separate video for this point because I feel like this doesn't get talked about enough by like people in the industry. I hear a lot of commentary on this by like the clients and the public. This is where I can kind of understand the frustration around nail prices because I'm kind of thinking that this commentary maybe isn't applying so much to like the independent nail tech that does a really good job. And this is something that I also have a problem with as an independent nail tech that does a good job. The fact that it is the norm to go and get your nails done and be disappointed with the results is very frustrating to me because I think that is also why people are like, why are we spending all this money? Why does it cost this much? And then my nail is popping off in a week or they look like shit straight out the gate. And I might make like some blanket statements here. I understand that everything I'm saying, like there's an exception to it. So like, please don't come at me in the comments, but like, I do think that there can be like some issues with the pricing of nail services matching up with the actual skill level of the tech providing the services. And that bothers me. I think that as a nail tech, you really need to know where your skill level is and price accordingly. Because these walk-in salons, their goal is to like get people in and out as quickly as possible. And so their focus generally is not always on providing like the absolute best top tier quality, but then the pricing is like sometimes the same pricing as mine as an independent tech that really takes my time and is trying to give you the absolute best quality that I can. And so it's frustrating to me when I have people, not my clients, but just like people that like make comments about my pricing, and it's like, you don't really understand that this service is like maybe not the usual nail service that you're expecting to have. And so I think that this like base level quality of nails that we have in the industry right now is fucking us all up. Like sometimes it really feels like the standard for what's acceptable for nails, like what you are letting clients walk out the door with, is not okay for me. It should not be normal that people are upset with how their nails look. It should not be normal that people are having a ton of damage on their nails from getting their nails done. The stories that I have heard from my clients over the years of what they're experiencing out there is appalling. And so I can see why clients receiving that type of a service and then seeing the price tag be $90, $100, $100+ is like outrageous to them. And I think when you're first starting out in the industry, you cannot be charging prices like that. If your skill level is not there, you have to discount your services until you get there. And the biggest thing of all is that I would like for it to be more normalized for techs when someone comes in with an inspo photo that you cannot do or that you like aren't sure that you can do, to say that. That should be normal. Like if someone brings something in and you can't do it, just say, I can't do that. I'm not at that point yet. Don't be like, oh yeah, I can do that. And then you give them something that looks nothing like the photo and then you charge them top dollar for it. That That is messing us all up and setting us all up for failure. It is so frustrating when I have a new client that brings something in and the whole appointment, like they can't even trust me to actually execute it until the end when they see their nails, until multiple appointments have gone by and they're seeing the quality of their nails. And then finally they trust me that when I say, yeah, I can do that, they're getting that thing. Or like if somebody brings something into me and I can't do it, I will just say that. And usually what I will do is instead of just like turning them down entirely, which I will do, like if someone brings me a portrait, I'm not painting a portrait of someone on your nail. I'm sorry, that's where I draw the line. But most of the time, I'll just be like, okay, let's do this next time. Like, give me some time to practice. Or, like, if someone sends me something ahead of time, then I will practice leading up to their appointments so that I can go through the process of trial and error to get that result. Or I will just tell them right out the gate, because especially like where I'm at now, I'm at a point where I can like usually do what they're asking, or I've done something similar, but I haven't done this exact thing. I will just tell them that. Or like, hey, I have not done this exact thing. I'm pretty sure I can do it because I've done similar stuff. It's going to take a little trial and error if you're willing to like go through that process with me, or you're like open to this maybe not looking exactly like this, but I can get you somewhere in this realm. Like they're going to look good when you leave. Usually they're okay with that, and I just inform them. But I think that when it's the norm for people to go in and get their nails done and it doesn't look anything like what they asked for, and the nails are popping off in a few days, a week, when that's the norm, like, yeah, it makes it so that people want to talk shit about how much we're charging for our services, because they're not getting a good service in general. That's the norm. And so, yeah, I don't know. I do think that there's just like a lot of issues in this industry and with the information between the industry and the client. And I don't know if anyone's even here anymore. I probably should make this like a multi-part series because I have a lot to say. But to sum up, most nail techs are not greedy. We're just trying to make a living like everybody else. Please understand that. As someone who is not in the industry, just know that there is a lot that goes on behind the scenes and that there's a lot that goes into providing these services. So please don't assume that you know everything about it and that people are just like out to get you. And if you're gonna do something on your own, if you're gonna be a DIY girly, please just like do your research and like be careful, because this is some serious shit and you can really like do some damage to yourself. It's not just like, oh, painting pretty colors on our nails. Like, make sure your stuff is clean. Make sure you're using good products. Make sure you've got a good lamp that's actually going to cure your stuff all the way through. Make sure your layers aren't too thick. Make sure that you're taking the time to really prep that nail properly. Find out what that means and try to limit the exposure on your skin as much as possible. I feel like those are the basics, but there's a lot. There's a lot that goes into it. And lastly, if you're a nail tech, be honest with your clients, be honest with yourself. We all got to start somewhere. And so, you know, there's levels of quality in the work, and, you know, my nails looked like shit when I first started too, but I did a lot of free sets and I practiced a lot on press-on nails. Get to a point where you can really offer something of quality. Like, you don't need to be able to do everything, you know, but like offer something that like people are actually going to be happy with, that you would be happy with if that was on your hands and you were paying for that. Like, that's where your work needs to be. And yeah, I'm going to shut up now because this is long.